welcome back to my channel. So after Kanchipuram we reached our final destination, Mahabalipuram, which is actually a satellite city of Chennai and is located around 60 kilometers away from Chennai. It is pretty close to Chennai city, and we all know Chennai is a very prominent city throughout the world. So Mahabalipuram is a small city on the coast of Bay of Bengal, the Coromandel coast, which is the eastern coast of India. And here there are many monuments, temples and various other things like lighthouses and all, which have a lot of importance and date back to around 1500 to 1400 years ago. And it is a very beautiful place, one of the most important and popular tourist destinations here in India, and many people who visit South India or Chennai make a note to come and visit Mahabalipuram at least once, because you can come back to this place again and again. So now I'm at my resort. It was a wonderful day and the weather here is a little weird actually. Morning it is so hot, like I don't know, it's like the summer in Bangalore, though it is December, and it was extremely hot and I was like sweating. But now it is comparatively cold. There are strong winds coming this way because right in front of me is the majestic Bay of Bengal. So our resort is next to a beach, and I can see it here, like I can see those white rippling layers and it's gurgling throughout the day. It's a very beautiful sight. I mean, but one thing everyone should keep in mind while coming here, the Bay of Bengal is a very deep and dangerous ocean. So there is Mahabalipuram beach, but they do not allow you to go down there and take a bath because many people have lost their lives. Maybe they were careless, but still, for the safety of the citizens, the government has taken this initiative to not allow people to go into there. Then there's the shore temple over here, which is also on a seaside, and there is a small beach market. There are things linked to the Mahabharata, and most of the monuments over here date back to the Pallava Dynasty, and quite a few of them were built by King Narasimhavarman II. First it was mistaken to be Narasimhavarman the first king's creation, but later when they actually took a dig into it, they found that most of these monuments were built by King Rajasimha. King Rajasimha was another name for King Narasimhavarman II, and he was a very prominent king. Mahabalipuram is also known as Mamallapuram. Mamalla means warrior, and King Rajasimha was a great warrior, and hence this town was named after him. The city was named after him. It's a very beautiful place for a short visit. Most probably, I guess 2 to 3 days will be enough. Full 2 days you can visit all the monuments close by, all the things which hold some importance. There is a lighthouse here where you can get a whole view of the city from. There is a lighthouse museum here where there are different models of ships, and I went in there, and there were models of Titanic, ancient Egyptian boats, and boats used in Iran long back, and there were many other things. There was a light museum also where they showed the various kinds of light which is present inside a lighthouse. It is a very nice place. If you have an interest in these things, you can certainly visit it. And then there's also a seashell museum here, which is a very prominent location over here. It's like people visit it, they take a note to visit it whenever they come here. And yeah, it's a very small place. It's like just one road. You can easily access everything here. There are quite a couple of restaurants, resorts, and most of them are beachside resorts because people come here to enjoy the beach. Bay of Bengal is a very majestic ocean. Like I can hear it from here, and I feel so good because staying in Bangalore, reaching out to a seaside or a beach is it feels very special. Like when I go back, I'm really gonna miss it. And it's a very nice place. It's easily accessible. As I told, it's just 60 kilometers away from Chennai. So even if you're at Chennai, you can easily come for a day trip over here and then you can go back. But it's a wonderful place actually. You must visit it at least once. So going on in the video, I've taken a video of all the places I have visited over here, and you can take a look at it. I've given some brief descriptions about the history of those places and by whom they were built. So without any further delay, let's get started. So this is the Mahishasura Mardini cave, and this is also a rock cut monolith structure built during the reign of King Narasimha Varman II. And here the rock cuttings and everything show the defeat of Mahishasura by Devi Durga, and it also signifies the defeat of good over evil. On the other side, we have Lord Vishnu on his he's resting there, and then there are other deities below his legs. This is not exactly a cave, but it is rock cut, and this is a protected monument. It is a part of the group of monuments which have been claimed or have been told as the UNESCO World Heritage Site. Here there are various structures of gods and other deities. There are some animals which are related to the respective gods and goddesses, and this is actually a part of it's a part of different monuments also. And above here we have the Ishvara Temple, which is also a rock cut temple, and similarly built during the reign of King Rajasimha. And you can go up there, but it's actually very crowded, and there are a lot of monkeys. It's fully crowded over there. And that side, I'm not sure if you'll be able to catch it. Yeah, so there you can see that is the Mamallapuram lighthouse, and it is a tourist spot. People go there to get a clear and nice view, and there, if you want to go, you need tickets and you have to climb all the way up. So you can just go to the foot of the footstall of the lighthouse and you can get your photos clicked. But if you wish to have a complete view of the Mahabalipuram city or the Mamallapuram city, then you can go up there. You'll get an amazing view. Is the Roya Gopuram, which is an incomplete Gopuram. Most probably it dates back to the Vijayanagar Empire because of the demise of the ruler of that time. Maybe this was not completed. Compared to the other monuments, this is pretty new because this is of the Vijayanagar Empire and not the Pallava Dynasty, and it is incomplete. This is on the other side of the total group of monuments. That was on the that was towards the, it's like the other half. The lighthouse basically divides the paths. So behind me is the Varaha Temple, and it is a very complete structure and also built by King Narasimha Varman II. And it is a very typical style of the Pallava Dynasty. It is very complete, and there is an arcade inside. The facade is marked by molded steps. You can get in. It's very crowded now, so I'm not going in there. And it's a very complete monument and built during the Pallava Dynasty itself, and is also a part of one of the group of monuments. So behind me is a Ganesh Temple, which is one of the only active temple in this entire group of monuments. This was also built during the Pallava Dynasty, except that it was not built by King Narasimha Varman. It was built by King Parameswara Varman, and there were some inscriptions on this. This falls on the way to Krishna's Butterball. So this is Krishna's Butterball, this boulder over there. I was really excited to see this, and when I came here I saw that this is Krishna's Butterball, and it is called Krishna's Butterball because we have heard of stories where Lord Krishna, when he was a little kid, he used to steal butter from his mother's handi, and later when his mother used to try to take it away from him, his grip was so strong that she would not be able to do it. She never managed to do it. So that is why this is named as Krishna's Butterball, because this boulder is defying the laws of gravity. As you can see, this is a sloping mountain, right? So it is stuck onto that part of the mountain since for so long, and the Pallavan king Raja Narasimhan Varman also tried to push this rock or tried to bring it down, but he failed to do so, and that is why this gained a lot of prominence, that even the king who built almost all the monuments in this group failed to remove the boulder from there. And it is a half cut boulder, so maybe the other part has got destroyed or got eroded away. That is what they told here, that it got eroded away, and that the other part is remaining here. And there were several attempts to push it away. They pushed the boulder using elephants, and thousands of people during the reign of the king also tried to push it away but failed to do so, and that is why it is called Krishna's Butterball. So behind me is a shrine dedicated to Lord Shiva, Brahma and Vishnu. Lord Shiva's shrine is bigger compared to the others, and there is also a churner in front of this. So this was also built during the early Pallava Dynasty. It was built by King Parameswara Varman I, and it is towards the right side of the Butterball. You have to climb the hill on which it is there, not a very steep climb, and it will just take you a few minutes to come here. So this is behind the shrine dedicated to Lord Shiva, Brahma and Vishnu. This is a rock cutting which depicts wildlife. Here you can see an elephant, there is a peacock up there, and there is a monkey. There are elephant heads and baby elephants as well, and the head of that elephant has kind of got mixed with it. This is just behind the shrine. So this is a bas relief structure within the premises of Arjunas Penance and is known as the Krishna Mandu. This is because there is a structure over there which also was in fact made in the Pallavan period only, during the Pallavan Dynasty, and this shows Lord Krishna lifting the Govardhan mountain to protect the people and the cows, the shepherds from the storm created by Indra. And this is also very intricately carved. Here we can see that the people are here, there are some cows, and that side Lord Krishna is lifting it with his pinky finger, and this is just when you just enter the Arjunas Penance through this way, this falls first. So this is another monument which is located close by the other group of monuments, and this also is a part of the group of monuments which have been recognized by UNESCO and is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. So this is the northern part of the Krishna Mandap. It is there further, and here this is basically a cave temple which has remained unfinished. This also dates back to the Pallava Dynasty, and the thing is, if this cave temple would have been completed, it would be one of the largest cave temples in the world. Can you imagine? The largest cave temple in the world would be somewhere here in the southern part of India in Mahabalipuram, but very unfortunately this cave temple was not completed by the rulers, maybe because of various reasons, and this does not have any particular name, but by the locals it is known as the Panchapandav Mandu. And the thing which was different over here are these had pillars which were intricately carved, and there were plans, according to sources, to develop this into a very different kind of cave temple with a very unique and innovative architecture. This would really stand out among all the cave temples which actually exist, and this is within the premises of Arjunas Penance, or the descent of the Ganges. And if you see only, you can feel that this is something incomplete, because when the first glance at this makes it feel so royal, but as you see inside, things are just plain and bland rock cuttings. So behind me is Arjuna's Penance. This is also considered to be the descent of river Ganges by many scholars, and basically this is a bas relief structure showing a story from Kirat Arjuna of the great epic Mahabharata, and this is the story of the process of Arjuna meditating in order to receive the Pashupata weapon from Lord Shiva. And by some scholars it is considered to be the descent of the Ganges. Ganges is considered as a sacred river and is considered to have sacred and religious powers by the Hindus, and that is why this also shows the descent of river Ganges led by Bhagiratha. And this also shows the three worlds noticing the descent, or according to some people the descent, as according to some people Arjuna's penance. And there is a Vishnu Shrine at the bottom there, and this is a very beautiful scene and one of the major tourist attractions here in Mamallapuram. Right behind me is the iconic shore temple of Mahabalipuram. Such a beautiful temple, a wonder on its own. The shore temple is located on the eastern coast of India, in the Coromandel coast, and just borders with the sea. You can see the ocean, the Bay of Bengal from here, and it's not been, if you see it in the point of view of history, it's not been very long that this temple has surfaced. Yes, you heard it right. This is a part of the 7 pagodas, and this entire temple used to be submerged in water. This too was built during the Pallava Dynasty by King Narasimhavarman II, and since then it was very popular. It's very beautifully designed, and there are three miniature temples inside this. One, the biggest one, is dedicated to Lord Shiva. There's another one dedicated to Lord Shiva, and in the center there's like a small kind of temple where we can see Lord Vishnu in his reclining position. And if you stand here, you can hear the Bay of Bengal, the roars of the waves, and it is just an amazing thing. Speaking of the 7 pagodas, the 7 pagodas were basically 7 temples which were around this coast, and because of the rising sea level and all of this was submerged. Out of the 7 pagodas, this is the only temple which is visible and can be viewed by tourists. Yes, the other temples do exist, but only professional scuba divers, or no one has actually gone out to see those temples casually. It's very deep into the sea, and maybe the foundations were lower. Here there are certain parts in the temple which are low comparatively to the other temples I've visited so far. The base of the temple is really low, and because of the strong granite base of the temple, no such effect has been on the shore temple. And yeah, there have been tsunamis. As we know, the Bay of Bengal is a very active ocean. Different kind of cyclones, tsunamis, yes, they have come and hit the temple. But as I told, because of the very strong base of granite the temple stands on, there has been no problem to the temple. It's still in intact condition itself. And out of the remaining 6 temples which are submerged, 1 temple is visible, but it is 1 kilometer into the sea, which is quite a far distance. And if you wish, you can go and see it. The fishermen with their boats will go. The tourists do go now. and that too, you cannot see the temple as a whole like this. It is almost completely submerged in water. Just the top part of the temple is visible, and basically this was a very bustling city at those times. During the Pallava Dynasty, this temple was very prominent back then, and if you say Mahabalipuram, this is the first thing that clicks onto your mind. This is something everyone knows who has visited Mahabalipuram, and this is like the must visit place on everyone's trip list. Here currently the Indian dance festival is taking place now, and the temple closes at 6 p.m. Now there are quite a lot of people, and insides are closed because of some kind of renovation or something is going in. This temple is not active, that is no puja or any kind of worship takes place inside the temple currently. And during the 2004 tsunami, actually the temple I'm talking about, which has submerged, but you can see it now, it's like one of the 7 pagodas. During the 2004 tsunami on 26th December, that time this pagoda, the water levels moved, and you can, from then onwards you can see the temple, but it is kind of difficult to reach there unless you're willing for an adventure, and you can go reach out there. So here is another very popular monument of Mamallapuram. This is the Five Rathas or the Rathas, and they are named after the main people from Mahabharata, the 5 Pandavas and their common wife Draupadi, and each Ratha is designated to them except Nakul and Sahadeva share one Ratha. This monument does not have any connection with Mahabharata, and it is named after them. Actually, the purpose why this was built for is also not very clearly known, because this is an incomplete monument, and this was also built during the Pallava Dynasty itself, and it was built by King Narasimha Varman I, and it came from his father's time, King Mahendra Varman and Narasimha Varman I, and later on after his death this monument was not continued, and since then it has remained like this. Actually, there are some parts of the monument and the stone walls, even common people can see it and understand that this is an incomplete monument, because if you compare it to all the other complete monuments here within the group of monuments over there, then in the premises of Arjunas Penance, those look so complete and filled. But this one is like, I feel the stones were like made ready to carve something on them, but it is incomplete. There are like scratching marks with which they tried to make something on the stone, most probably, and the carvings are also incomplete at some places. It's like they just left it midway, and yes, it is confirmed that this is not a very complete monument, and these are named like Rathas. The smallest Ratha or the chamber belongs to Draupadi, and the others are all, we have a chamber for Dharmaraja, which is the biggest one, and then there's Bhima, Arjuna and Nakul Sahadev, and finally comes the Draupadi Ratha. And here this is like maintained by the Archaeological Survey of India, and also it is also a part of the group of monuments which UNESCO has recognized, and it is a World Heritage Site. But this is a little far away. This is 2.5 kilometers away from the city center, and the rest and all are within the city. Like, you need to come a little more far, and there's nothing else in this premises. Towards that side we have the Bay of Bengal, but it is not visible from here. And yeah, it is a very beautiful place and one of the most popular destinations here. And also one more thing I noticed on my way to Mahabalipuram is that there are a lot of rock carvings and statues made of people, idols of gods and goddesses here, and it is very common to see them here on your way. And the other thing about this monument is that it is not connected to the Mahabharata but still has the names. Actually, the Archaeological Survey of India asked the people to refer it to as the Vimanas, but the Pandava names are permanent and people never even thought of changing it. It has remained after the 5 Pandavas and their wife Draupadi since then. There's also one elephant carving out of stone, and these are all monolithic rock structures, and one of the prime examples of monolithic rock structures here out in India. And this is a compounded wall, and also it is made from pink granite, because of which it has a very strong foundation. And I told you the sea is that side, so the salty wind which comes from the sea has also not been able to affect it. And another thing is, this is more this is older than the group of monuments, because most of them were made during King Narasimha Varman II's reign. At least that is what historians have found it. But this one, it's kind of confirmed that it was made during King Mahendra Varman and his son Narasimha Varman I's reign, and later on it was discontinued. I don't know for what reason they stopped making this. And that is it for this monument. So that was all, and it's all the places I have been to. I did miss out a couple of places due to lack of time, like the Seashell Museum, the Sculpture Museum, but if you have enough time, please do make sure to go and see those as well. And there are some places which are in the outskirts or away from the city and take around half an hour to 45 minutes to go, but they are beautiful places, and I haven't been there, but I've heard of those places. And it was a very, very pleasant trip, and you can easily come here. It's a very nice place for a vacation, so next time you're planning for a vacation, please do consider this as an option. But do not, you have to keep one thing in mind, that never ever plan to come here during the summers, because your life will get ruined. The winter itself is so hot compared to Bangalore and other places as well, but if you are habituated with these kind of weather, then it's fine. But if you're not, then please do not plan anything like that. But it's a very nice place. You should certainly consider to come here at least once. And most of these sites were recognized by UNESCO in the year 1984 and were given the World Heritage Site tag. All the monuments here are very beautiful. It takes quite a lot of time to go and actually take a look and dig into it nicely. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel and click on the bell icon to receive notifications whenever I post new videos. I feel really happy to share my trip experience with you, and once again saying, certainly consider this as an option for your vacation. And that is it for today, guys. Bye bye. See you in the next one.